Do you all remember the Tony Martin case? So this was a case that was widespread in the media. It was a Norfolk farmer, for those of you who don't remember, who shot a burglar completely in self-defense. The newspapers would have us believe it, and it was a travesty and injustice, and we should have all cut out pictures with newspapers with red tops and put his face in our windows. If you look at the actual facts behind the case, we've got Tony Martin, who shot somebody called Fred Barris, who was 16. So in the eyes of the law, what does that make him? Makes him a child, doesn't it, in the definition of the Children Act. Whereabouts did Fred get shot on his body? And where was he? He wasn't in his house. He was also shot with an unlicensed firearm. So he didn't have a license for the firearm, and there's 2 witnesses who heard him say, I'm going to shoot him, in the pub the night before. So realistically, you add all those things up, and but again, why let the facts get in the way of a good story? We can put some adverts for burglar alarms and static security services next to this story. So because of that, whenever I travel around and talk about use of force, people say, oh, but you can't do anything because of X, Y, and Z. So I've scared you a bit with the Corporate Manslaughter Act. I want to reassure you now with some guidelines that are out there. So the Crown Prosecution Service, all heard of them? Yeah, they decide if it's in the public interest to prosecute people. These are their charging guidelines. So this is what they have to follow. So you've spoken, you've explained what you did, the police have given it to the CPS, they're the ones that make the decision. And they say that when somebody who's engaged in a crime themselves, so harm to self, harm to others, damage to property, we've already established that, they must take particular care. Goes on to say that where the use of force is reasonable, you have an absolute defence and charges should not be brought.